I come at this again, working with clients from various different angles. So I work with some clients that have a new product or a new financial product to take to market, which is a very different challenge to an established lender going through a technology transformation with a well-established loan book. So both of those challenges are very different. I mentioned before about the hybrid approach, and I think that one of the things that we, again, try and educate the clients on is that there are elements to that transformation or to that getting a product to market that an organisation like Lenvi can provide you with as a configurable, almost out-of-the-box solution. So it's been built, it's there, it's established in various different lenders, and with some configuration, it can be built to yourself, built to your needs, your requirements. I think layered on top of that is then providing a framework to clients to help them create something that's very unique and special to them in their own market. So things like the origination journey, how you acquire customers into their loan management journey is very unique to that individual client. And I think that that's something that they see as their secret sauce. They see as their IP. And so within the Lenvi framework, we provide organizations the ability to do things like plug in their own decision-making engines, to work with various different third parties, providing them with APIs to connect to aggregators or other channels. We allow them the ability to build out their own consumer interactions, so portals that are accessible by consumers to look at their loan position, etc. We also provide them with integrations with other third parties, whether that's payment providers or otherwise. So I think it's about providing the right level of technology out of the box, combined with the right framework for organizations to be unique, to be competitive, and to build out their own IP that makes them differentiated to their competition.
Yeah, and building on what Kieron's saying there around being able to offer a flexible and configurable system that easily integrates with a variety of different choices, I think that is very key these days. People want an appropriate ecosystem, don't they? They want to be able to take their preferred payment provider or their preferred telephony system, and they want to be able to integrate that into the loan management system. And we provide that, we enable that to happen easily and effectively. The other important thing, I think, is bringing expertise to that as well, bringing in a huge amount of loan management expertise and financial services industry expertise. We've got decades and decades of that within our business, and it's not just about providing the technology, it's also about providing that expertise so that we can support people through the journey and help them understand how they can effectively implement a new system and, as you say, get to market quickly.
Yeah, I think for us at Acquired, I'd probably put it into sort of like 3 levels, and I think at the base level, you know, we provide like a modular set of services that customers can take how they want, which is useful because it allows them to integrate it to their current systems, but equally it can be as simple as if a customer wants to get something off the ground really quickly, we can turn around like a fully composed like payment link solution, hosted checkout solution that will just work right out the gates to accept payments. I think what we then have is a modular set of services around that, which allows people to then, if they want more customization in some areas, they can do that. If they want to take more ownership of the PCI compliance agenda, they can do that. Equally, they can get like hyper customization without having to take on board the PCI compliance agenda, which is obviously there's quite a high burden that comes along with that. With those hosted checkout solutions, we provide a bunch of different payment solutions in that same journey. So it isn't just that you will just get card payments, you could get access to other things like pay by banking with those same services. So enabling customers to get off the ground quickly, but then also enabling them to go on the journey with us, or us to go on the journey with them more accurately, to customize and evolve their business as they move. So getting to market quickly, but equally being able to customize and make it your own. I think probably on top of that, partnerships with companies like Lenvi again, that just emphasises that getting to market quickly with a mature solution, particularly in something like lending. It's hard to, people trying to build a loan management system from scratch would take years, and they get lots and lots wrong most likely. Being able to get that loan management system with payments plugged into it, with direct debits plugged in, with card payments plugged in, recovery strategies plugged in, it's a huge leg up for people. So I think that partnering with the right partners, we also, again, enable consumers to kind of tackle that problem. And then I think on top of that, it's similar to what we were just talking about there, which is around bringing some expertise. I think from a couple of different angles. One of them is definitely like implementation and integration expertise. So making sure that we can actually give a bit of advice and guidance on how to implement. So we don't just leave our customers out in the cold. We can work quite closely with them to integrate and implement the solution that they want. Give them a bit of advice, because payments is a complicated space, and choosing the right payments or the right kind of payments can be quite a scary topic and actually often overlooked. So bringing that expertise to the table, and also what commonly happens in lending, because we have expertise in that as well. I think then bringing some extra things to the party is also good for a lot of our partners in terms of the expertise, which is we will do consumer lending surveys and understand the market and be able to bring some learnings to our partners and our merchants in that space, so we can really bring to life how they can get the best out of payments and the best out of their ecosystem.
I think it's really interesting, isn't it? Like, financial services, fintech is rapidly evolving like every day, isn't it? Which is brilliant. Like, I love it. I love like looking at LinkedIn, looking at all the different sources of information that are available. There's something new happening in payments every day. There's something new happening in technology every day with AI, rapidly evolving financial services. New financial products come along like on a fairly rapid basis. That's brilliant, but also provides a bit of a headache, doesn't it? It's like, how do we keep up with that pace? And actually then partnering with people who are specialists in their areas enables them to focus on that key bit, doesn't it? And really narrow in and provide that expertise. And then we can support lenders, not just from go live, but on an ongoing basis, so that they don't have to worry about, okay, so I've heard that VRPs are coming out. Now what do I do with VRPs? Like, oh gosh, if I've built my own system and it was perfectly adequate for direct debit, well, now what do I do? How do I take that forward? Whereas working with us, we can provide that evolution for them, and we can continue, as you say, pull that expertise in, look at where we should be improving systems and functionality, just aligned with that market and that ever-evolving shift of technology.
Yeah, it's really interesting, because a lot of the conversations that I have are with established lenders that built something that they thought was really good and relevant 5-10 years ago, and it probably was. And I think that we talked about the cost of ownership, but it's also about their ability to affect change later on, or their inability to affect change later in 5-10 years time. Whereas working with software providers that are keeping up with technology trends, compliance challenges, that's where the advantage comes.
Yeah, I think that's definitely right. I think if there's one thing that we've learned over the last 10-20 years since the sort of inception of the internet and it really getting to where it is now, is the pace of change is just getting faster and more aggressive, if anything. And being able to evolve systems is much more important, probably more important than having the perfect system in the first place, because it's a bit of a cliche, but the only constant is change, right? And I definitely agree. Picking a provider that you can go on a journey with, picking a partner that you can go on a journey with that has ability to switch and change and move with you, but also bring their expertise of what's going on in their particular niche is critically important.
Reacting quickly is really important as well, isn't it? You need to be able to react quickly to new technologies and new trends in all areas, and actually allowing someone else to do that reaction for you is a more efficient way of doing it, isn't it?
I think the variable recurring payments that you mentioned earlier is a really great sort of petri dish or example of that in recent times, where it's sort of one of the biggest innovations and biggest changes that's going to be hitting the payment space in this market over the last few years, but also really confusing. Lots of different players in there, lots of different guidance. Working with a partner who is immersed in that, certainly as in previous incarnations where I was a CTO of other companies, I just wouldn't have had the time to immerse myself in understanding all of the ins and outs of the payment ecosystem, whereas now I get to spend all of my time sweating that. And I think that makes a huge difference working with partners who are really in the middle of that. It could be compliance too, like when you're looking at consumer duties entering the market, what does this actually mean? And working with a partner like yourselves who can say, well, this is what it actually means and this is what we're doing to assist you in that journey. That's incredibly comforting as somebody making a decision in this space.